Now we have another international speaker for us and talking about let's start the climate take back. I really want to hear this talk is Erika Frankkila Rydjan. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. So, my name is Erika Frankkila Rydjan. I'm the marketing director for Interface Northern Europe. I'm based in Stockholm. And I'm here today to share the Interface story of how we managed to change our business from a take-make-waste model to a circular model. And Interface is on a mission, and that is to drive our business in a way that reverses global warming. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We call it climate take-back. At Interface, we talk also a lot about positive spaces. And with that, we mean positive spaces, rooms that are positive for people that are using them, and also rooms that are positive for the planet. And we are an interior design company. Our core product is carpet tiles. And we are actually the ones that created that product category. Before, only Broadlin was available, but we invented the carpet tile, which is modular flooring systems. And we have also recently extended our product portfolio to include rubber flooring and luxury vinyl tiles. You can find our products mostly in public spaces. For example, schools, hotels, offices, retail stores. So take, for example, here in Helsinki, we have our products in the Nokia office and in the Microsoft office. And so we are an American company. We're on the Nasdaq, a global company. And here in Finland, we don't have our own organization, but we have our brand represented by a company called Latapiste, which probably is known to you for their consumer parts, but they also have a big product sales parts, and that's where we work with them. So Interface, we have 3,000 colleagues around the world, and last year we had almost a turnover $1 billion US. So that's just some basic facts about our company, because I don't know how many here in the audience has heard about Interface before. Is there anyone here that heard about the company before? Okay, good. Perfect. So, changing a business from a take-make-waste business to circular demands a strong leadership. And this is our founder, Ray Anderson. And back in 1994, carpet tile was a pretty dirty business. It was a lot of petroleum being used. And customers started to ask us, but what about the environment? And we didn't really have an answer. So Ray realized that our business had to change from a take-make-waste model to a circular model. And in this case, that meant turning a petroleum-intensive carpet tile manufacturer into a sustainable, environmental friendly, and ultimately restorative company. So Ray decided to pioneer sustainable manufacturing. So in 1994, we set a mission to become restorative and eliminate any negative impact Interface may have on the environment by 2020. I will call this our Mission Zero. And we are getting closer to 2020. And we have achieved a lot during our Mission Zero. And I will share with you later on in the presentation some examples of what we have achieved. But 2020 is getting closer. And today, it's not really enough to just eliminate any negative impact. We also need to have a positive impact. we must strive to reverse global warming. So we have set a new goal, and this is all about reversing global warming. We call it Climate Take Back, and this is what we have ahead of us. So we believe that if humanity changed the climate by mistake, we can change it with intent. So the Climate Take Back plan, it's actually based on a scientific model about how to reach safe climate limits in the world. And there are 3 main actions to reach safe climate limits in the world. And to simplify, we translated that into 3 goals within our Climate Take Back plan. So first of all, it's about living zero. Like I mentioned to you before, aim for zero negative impact on the environment. And this is basically what we've done under the umbrella Mission Zero for the last 25 years. I will share more about that in a couple of minutes. Also, it's about love carbon. Stop seeing carbon as the enemy and start using it as a resource. And number 3, let nature cool. Support our biosphere's ability to regulate the climate. And we have added a 4th goal, because all these 3 will not work unless there are good and new business systems in place. And this is very much about collaboration. Lead the industrial re-revolution. So let's start with, how will the Climate Take Back work in practice? I will walk you through each one of these 4 goals. So let's start with Live Zero. For us, this is something we've been doing and aiming for 25 years. That's our Mission Zero. And here are some examples what it's all about. It's about zero pollutants, zero waste, cut water use, 100% renewables, resource-efficient transport, redesign commerce, close every loop. And I will spend some time on this little square here, close every loop, and give you some example on what we have been doing. Well, our products comes in modules, in squares, 50 by 50, and planks, 25 by 100 centimeters. So by nature, they are easy to reuse and recycle. And we have a glue-free installation system called Tactile, which make it easy to swap one single tile. If you perhaps get a stain on the tile, you don't need to switch the whole flooring. You can just take that tile and replace it. Also, when you have had the flooring for a very long time and it's time to replace it, you can take out all the carpet tiles and select the ones that are less worn and use them in new locations. And the carpet tiles that are very worn, that are worn out, you can take them out and recycle them. They can be new carpet tiles, or they can be something completely else. So that's the nature of our business. Say 15 years ago, we introduced something in our business called random design. And random design is all about making a collection of carpet tiles that by design look different from one another. No carpet tile look the same. And this is very practical for our customers, because if you need to swap a tile, you can just take it out and put a new one there. Also, it's very easy to install. It's quick to install because you don't need to follow a specific floor installation plan. You just put them out, so it's very quick. And in production, it will be less second choice, because no other carpet tiles look the same. You can't really say that this carpet tile is perfect and that's imperfect. And the idea to this actually came from nature. And that's something we do a lot within Interface, get inspiration from the nature when it comes to how we work with sustainability, when it comes to how we work with design. And in this case, our product designers went out in the forest, and this was in the fall. So they went outside, and the forest was very beautiful in colors of red, orange, yellow. And you know nature, no tree looked the same, no bush looked the same. It's just a mix of everything. And they just realized that even though everything are looking different, it still becomes this beautiful pattern with different colors and different shapes. And they wanted to realize that in our collections. And that was the idea behind what we call random design. And circularity is not all about keeping material in a loop. It's also about using less material. So we challenge ourselves to make a new product that would use less material, but not compromise on quality and design. And that ended up in something called microtuft. And that was a completely new product type in our portfolio. So that are some examples of how we work with our products to close the loop. And in our Mission Zero, we had 5 key focus areas to get us where we are today. Factories to zero, like I mentioned before, it's about less water usage, less pollutants, less weight, renewable energy. The second one, reuse and re-entry. Here it's about how we can using to really look at the materials and the prices they have. What can be used again, and what can't. So the number one, of course, we want to reuse when it's possible. Second option, re-entry. And that's about recycling it to become new carpet tiles or to be something completely else. And the last preferred option is waste to energy. And then, of course, when driving change, it's all about people, to get the people on board, to share the mission and be proud of the mission. And for example, talking about people, it's about working with our suppliers, our purchase to work with our suppliers to get them on board and share the visions that we have. It's about our sales team, talk with the customers, impact them, impact our customers, how they can limit their impact on the environment. And also within Interface, we actually have something called a Sustainability Ambassadors Program. And that's a training for people internally to be able to preach and drive and develop our sustainability work within the organization and externally. Suppliers to zero. Yeah, it's the same here, to work with a broader network. Not just changing ourselves, but also changing the network that surrounds us. Products to zero, like I said before, it's about using less material, bio-based material, recycled material. And when the product is end of life, what do we do with it? Reuse, re-entry. So I would like to share with you some achievements, some global achievements that we have accomplished within Interface on our Mission Zero. So we managed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions with 96%. We have managed to reduce water usage with 88%. And actually, the factory that is closest to us here in Scandinavia, that's in Holland. And in Holland, that figure is actually 100 because we have a completely closed water system there. And 58% of raw materials used are bio-based and made of recycled materials. 88% of the energy used is renewable, and that's also for Holland 100%. We have reduced our carbon footprint with 66%. And the energy reduction is 43%. So that are some examples of things we have achieved under the umbrella Mission Zero. And thanks to all this, we can now say since this summer that we actually have a carbon neutral portfolio. And this is because we have come so far in our work with limiting our impact, our carbon footprint. So the remaining part is so small, so for the part that we're still missing, we can make offsets, and that's economic viable to us. So this is a great step in our journey towards zero impact and positive impact. But we are not happy here. We are happy for this part goal, but we have a lot to do ahead of us. And this is a way for us to support our customers in living zero. So we've done a lot, but how do we measure up against other businesses? And what you see here is figures from a study that Globescan is doing every year on sustainability leadership, sustainability leaders around the world. You can see different global corporate names here to the left. And Interface is actually the only company that's been on the list since this service started. And in the past 20 years, Interface has been among the top 4 companies. So we are very proud of that. So let's move on in the climate take-back plan. Next goal is Love Carbon. And now we're moving into areas that are new to us. Mission Zero we've been working with for 25 years. But now we're talking about what we're doing, our innovation today, and what we have ahead of us, what we want to achieve when we talk about having positive impact, reverse global warming. So for each goal, I will give you a few examples. But here there's still a lot of things to investigate, innovate around, and to improve. But I will share what we are doing. So, Love Carbon. So what you see here is the world's first carbon negative carpet tile. It's called Proof Positive, and today it's just a prototype. But this is where we want to go. We want to show that it's possible to make a product that capture carbon and store carbon, to keep carbon in a closed loop. So we actually take carbon from the atmosphere and make it into a product. So when we make this product, there is less carbon in the atmosphere than if it was not made at all. So this is what we strive for. So we want to use carbon as a building block. That's what our innovation is about. And what we've done is that we have used selected material which contain atmospheric carbon and converted them into durable materials that store carbon. So, and Proof Positive, that was a prototype, but what is already available on the markets is a carbon negative backing called circuit back green. So as you can see here, a carpet tile consists of the yarn part on the top, and then you have a backing. So what we managed is, this is the Proof Positive, but what we managed here is to make this part carbon negative. So this is a step, and a very important step for us to realize the Proof Positive. So circuit back green increases the bio-based and recycled material in the finished carpet tile, which make a great impact on the carbon footprint. It gets much lower than in a regular carpet tile. So same here. When producing this backing, there's less carbon in the atmosphere than if it was not produced at all. And then we have let nature cool. And we all know that nature has the power to regulate the climate, but only if humanity doesn't get in its way. And right now, the excess carbon we're emitting is interfering with that system. So we need to restore the Earth core ecosystem and make it possible for life itself to regulate the climate. And within Interface, we are running a pilot in Australia called Factories as Forests. And this is all about creating a built environment, in this case a factory, that actually contributes to a better outdoor climate. So what we are doing here, that we are looking into, in the area where this is built, we are looking into local high-performing ecosystems and see how they work and what service they provide. And then we incorporate these services into our building, into our factory. And then we can benchmark how our factory is performing compared to this local natural ecosystem. For example, we can look into how much water is being absorbed, how much air is being purified, etc. So this is a pilot, but this also gives you a flavor of what we want to achieve to take the next step. And then we have the fourth goal, lead the industrial re-revolution. And this is all about collaboration, which many of the speakers in this morning also talked about. And we know that industry has been a force for human progress, but the intended consequences of industrialization has been severe. And we didn't know that then, but now we know. So now we need new models, that is low carbon models, inclusive models, and collaborative business models that delivers value for all of us. And at Interface, we work with the Sustainable Development Goals. And I saw that Signify, Philips Lighting also referred to the sustainability goals from the United Nations. And basically, this is 17 goals to transform the world. And they are a call for action for promote prosperity, while at the same time protecting the planet. And one challenge with all these goals is to positively impact one goal without negatively impact another goal. And we work with the sustainability goals in our daily business. And I will give you an example of how we do it in our networks program. And I actually have a video that I would like to show.
The livelihoods of the people in this part of the Philippines is completely dependent upon the sea, one way or another. Danahan Bank is now one of the most degraded coral reefs in the world with some of the highest fishing pressure. Fishers use, especially in the Philippines, use a lot of monofilament nylon nets. When discarded nets get into the marine environment and they just hang around, they can last for 600 plus years.
This is a really high performance engineering plastic. You know, nylon 6 is in our carpet. It's also in lots of other products that people will use every day. So we want to make sure that material can be used again. Networks is a program that takes discarded fishing nets from impoverished communities and recycles them into carpet tile.
The idea is to collect discarded fishing nets off the beaches or get them from fishers as soon as they have finished using them.
What's really important about this program is that it's not a one-shot beach cleanup for some nice pictures. It's actually about how do you institutionalize nets and ultimately other material recycling in communities in a way that benefits them in the long term.
Hilaw man ako nga someday mo abot ra gyud ang panahon nga mahurot ang tanang pukot diri sa kayunan. Kay daghan naman nga mosundog namo.
Mga sample nga gihatag nga gipatan-aw namo dire. Ako nakita nga dako diri kay mahimo ang maong pukot.
The product is still our product. Beautiful carpet tile. It will look the same, but there'll be this story behind the material. This to me is the start of us being a restorative enterprise. We're giving back and giving opportunities that are way beyond what maybe people would think a carpet tile company could do. And this is only the beginning.
So our networks program is, I think, a very good example of how we work with the sustainability development goals. It have both the part of the social benefits and the benefits for the environment. Another similar project, which is also about the ocean, is the Next Wave, which you probably have heard of. Interface is one of the founding companies to this global initiative. And this is also about collecting ocean plastics from oceans and also other waterways like rivers, seas, etc. And this is to create environmental and social benefits. And ocean-bound materials is actually a great example of how we can go from a linear model to a circular model when using our resources. Because the materials collected in the oceans can actually become something. It become products or packaging, etc. So, on the topic of collaboration, I actually would like to wrap up my presentations, since reversing global warming really demands collaboration. Collaboration across borders, across industries, across companies. So, all in all, if we need a new story for our climate future, we need you. So let's make it personal. Let's discuss. Live zero, love carbon, let nature cool, and lead the industrial revolution. And here you have my contact details in case you want to follow up afterwards if you have ideas. Because like I said, we have done a lot, but we also think we have a lot ahead of us. And we need to do this together. So just contact Interface if you have anything you would like to discuss. Thank you.
Let's see if there's any questions. So does somebody have questions for Erika? Here, Iya.
Thank you for an inspiring talk. How do you incentivize your people in taking the whole circular economy thought forward?
I think one important thing when it comes to people and organization is maybe not to have this like sustainability department, rather having sustainability in each department to make it part of our business goal. And I think that was Interface actually have achieved. We have made sustainability our business strategy because we've worked with this, so that's not something you do over a day. It's something that we've been working on for 25 years. And if it's part of our business strategy, it gets to that incentive.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, so you talked about the ambassadors. Now I don't recall how they were called exactly.
Yeah,
but that
sustainability ambassadors.
Sustainability ambassadors. Yeah. Can you tell a little bit more about that program? Like, how do they, in concrete terms, how do they participate?
So it's actually the Sustainability Ambassadors program is something we do together with Cambridge. So it's both has this interface business perspective, but we also have the experts to really train the people on the organization that have especially interested in this and want to drive this internally and externally. And then there are different levels. I think there are 3 different levels. Level 1 is like the basic knowledge about what we do and general sustainability topics. And then there's, when you've done that, you work on that for a while, then you take the level 2. And then you move the level of knowledge and competence within the program. And then the final step is this level 3. And then you also have to make this like a project for the business, an idea. You have to realize an idea that you think this is something I think we should do with the customer, or this is something we should do from a sustainability perspective within the company. So that's like step 3. So that's a very practical.
I have to catch up with you.
Yeah, we can talk afterwards. Yeah.
Since you're the marketing manager and there's so many kind of parts to this whole equation, how do you communicate towards your customers? Like, how do you make it simple to understand? People don't have so much time perhaps to look into these things, but what's your takes? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, I mean, for example, telling the customer that we have a carbon neutral portfolio, that's a very short and crisp
and
selling point.
And throughout you've been doing this for quite a long time, which I have to say is impressive.
Yeah.
How has the customer reaction changed within the last years? Is it, because I would imagine that at some point it would be just the price that's really the thing that matters.
Yeah, and it's also depending where you are in the world. Here, example, I represent Nordics and Baltics. Here in the Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, sustainability is a very big selling point. It's super important. It's been around. We discussed it for a long time. We have come far. But you can just go to the other side of the water to go to the Baltics. And this interest is not the same because they are in another part of their journey. Yes. And if you go to South America or Asia, it will differ. But here, it's super important, and that's why our customers choose Interface in many cases. Besides nice designs and quality, etc. But we have this sustainability, and we have proofs on it.
Hello, Ismo Turunen from Business Finland. As seen also here, the companies pretty much do what the owners want a company does, and the strongest influences would be the owners of the company. So do you have any program or acts towards the board members of other companies or owners of the companies?
I mean, for Interface, sustainability, it's such an integral part in our business strategy. So the board members and the executives, they are working with this.
But to other companies?
Sorry.
Members of the other companies, owners of the other companies.
To inspire the others.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there are several reasons why a company would focus on sustainability. And then for the first thing here, we are actually making money on it. Like things like we reduce waste, we use our resource more efficiently, we use better energy. So there is a financial, of course there's an investment, but the results will gain, the company will gain financially on doing all this. It's just the hurdle to get there. So if you invest, there are revenues to get. And then there is, it's about the employees to be proud of working for the company, for working for a company with a mission. It's good for your brand. There are many reasons why aiming for working like this.
Thank you. Do we have some other questions still for Erika? No. Well. Thank you so much, Erika, for being here. Will you be around for the coffee break? Maybe we can come and talk
Yes,
to you.
I think so.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So let's give an applause to Erika still. Thank you so much for coming.